Morning to you. Steve Baker and yourself say that you will make recommendations to your group of MPs based on your knowledge of the negotiations. What is the latest detail that you have? Are you party to any information that we haven't heard so far?
Not really. We had talks.
Brexit!
If we leave, it will be delightful that this idiot will shut up.
He's exercising his democratic right. I appreciate it. Makes it very difficult to do an interview, and we do want to hear
We'll have a go.
as well. We will try.
Article 50!
We'll have a go. We had a meeting yesterday at number 10. We've got another meeting later this afternoon. We haven't yet been given the full details of the deal because by the sound of it, it still hasn't been finalised with Brussels. But what the ERG met last night, we normally meet on a Tuesday evening, that's usual, and we agreed at that meeting that if there is a deal, and we're going to have in effect meaningful vote for on Saturday, then the ERG will meet that morning. The officers will make a recommendation to the ERG on whether or not to support the deal. Once we've read the details, we'll debate it, and then it will be up to every individual member of the ERG, if it were, to look into their heart and decide what's best for their country. But we, the officers, will give a lead.
How much will you be guided by what the DUP is doing? If the DUP isn't happy, are you saying that you won't vote for the deal, or is there, some difference of opinion within the ERG group on that?
The ERG and the DUP have always been strong allies throughout this whole process. So it's not axiomatic that we will follow what the DUP do, but we will take very firmly into account their view, particularly on those aspects that specifically affect Northern Ireland. In a sense, it's closest to them. What Steve Baker, our chairman, said last week still holds, was it's not our job in the ERG to be more unionist than the DUP, if you follow me.
Yes, but if the DUP feels that Northern Ireland is going to be treated differently from the rest of the UK, is that where your line is as well?
Well, it's a hypothetical discussion. I don't mean to be unhelpful because we don't actually know the details. And one of the things I've learnt down the years of dealing with the European Union is you literally always have to read the small print. But in principle...
It's not hypothetical. Sorry to interrupt, but it's not hypothetical in that we've known all along that the issue of the border, what happens with those arrangements, the border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland is absolutely key to sorting this out.
Sorry, but...
So if you are closely allied to the DUP, as you say, then you're going to need... I'm not saying you're going to need their say-so, but you're going to be guided by them, surely, on whether or not you would vote for any deal, if indeed there is a deal to vote on.
We will, as I say, we don't know the precise details. I'm sorry to sound stuck on that point, but literally the details do matter. It's an international treaty, it's international law, and it could be binding forever. But we will take what the DUP say very carefully into account.
I realise I'm asking you to talk about something that's somewhere between speculation and gut feeling here, but in terms of the mood music, as I was discussing with Norman a moment ago, what is your gut saying about whether there is going to be a deal to discuss on Saturday or not?
Well, what I can tell you is this: he lost the referendum and he's never got over it. The officers of the ERG would like to be in a position to recommend supporting the deal. But we can only do that when we've seen it and we know what the details are. If it's acceptable, we would want to recommend it to our members. The acid test is this: does it genuinely take us out of the European Union at Halloween? If the answer is yes, then Steve Baker and I will be the first two guys in the aisle of it.
Just in a line though, if there is a deal, do you fear that this might be the only chance to vote on a deal which would see the UK leave the EU? If it doesn't happen this time, do you think the mood might swing the other way, perhaps more strongly behind another referendum, for example?
All we have wanted all along is to live in a free country that elects its own government, makes its own laws and lives under those laws in peace. If that deal gives this, we'll vote for it.
OK, Mark Francois, thank you very much.
Thank you.